Special Issue Task Force. How can I help you? And joining us in the studio is Arirang. Arirang, hello to you.
Hello, SJ. How are you?
What's wrong? Why your voice so down all of a sudden?
Yeah, because of the weather.
Why?
I don't know. I feel a bit
가을 타나요?
down.
Are you getting the autumn blues?
Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
Does your husband know?
He doesn't know. He doesn't care, I think.
Yes, he does.
I kind of lazy and depressed a little
No,
bit.
let's put it out there.
Yeah.
Your husband is like one of the most romantic guys out there.
Romantic?
Yes. He smiles.
He wants to be romantic.
When he's taking pictures with you, he's all like smiling
Really?
and stuff like that. Have you ever seen our family picture? I'm always frowning. I got no expressions.
Aww. But inside, you really love and care for your wife, right?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you do.
But
But you never express it because you're shy.
But you know
Super shy.
You know what's
shy?
funny? Remember the last time you came over our house for that wine party, and then you guys took some pictures. And there was
My
one picture.
husband did.
Oh yeah.
Not us.
There was a picture where I was like, we're all like smiling and stuff.
Right.
We both looked at it and we're like,
Oh, what happened to you? This is your first time
no, she was like,
smiling.
we took a picture like this. It's the wine.
Memory erased.
It's the wine. It's the wine.
Yes.
First topic is actually a follow-up to last week's big story, right? The mass detention of Korean workers over in Georgia in Bryan County. The incident shocked Korean society, remained in the headlines for more than a week. Let's remind our listeners first and foremost and how the South Korean government responded diplomatically and the right way.
Yes, last Wednesday, South Korea's Foreign Minister Cho Hyun met with U.S. Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio at the White House. And the main issues were the release of the detained Koreans and possible improvements to U.S. visa system. And rather than questioning the legality of the U.S. crackdown, of course, that was a big issue too. But Seoul emphasized the need for a gesture of trust between allies. And Korea specifically asked that those detained would not face disadvantages when re-entering the U.S. in the future, and that unnecessary physical restraints like handcuffs be avoided. But at times, the talks were tense, and the U.S. side showed a rather unfriendly attitude, which left families and the Korean public both anxious and angry. But in the end, though, Korea's key requests were accepted. So detainees did not face excessive restraints and will not face re-entry penalties in the future.
Well, the thing is, they interviewed a lot of the South Korean workers and the kind of things that they had to deal with when ICE came through.
Right.
And they were basically saying that they were mistreated.
Yes,
there was a lot of
course.
things where it was, I mean, it's unbelievable that way. They were in shackles.
Right.
Shackles, ladies and gentlemen, right? And so, but even afterwards, they were like, oh, we can't send them back. I think like the U.S. stopped them from leaving when they were supposed to leave. I don't know what was going on there. They're probably like, oh my goodness, we made a big mistake. Now this is going to cost, thousands of jobs now because they were there to train American workers. Come on, guys. That's the thing. And so there was a huge backlash even amongst people who lived in Georgia.
Yes, of course.
And I don't know if you've ever seen that area, that little town in Bryan County. It's like there's nothing there.
Right.
There's nothing there.
When you think about the economic impact it will bring, it's huge.
That's right. Oh, Sunflower Sky. She shocked us living in Georgia. That's right. She's tuning in Georgia. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. But it seems the U.S. government is handling the matter. The way that they handle this raised some eyebrows in Korea too.
Yeah, one notable detail is that Secretary Rubio held a meeting at the White House, not the State Department, and many analysts see this as an attempt to bypass the Department of Homeland Security and connect it directly with President Trump. Eventually, Trump himself intervened, and that's how Korea's demands were accepted. But still, trust in the U.S. government was shaken, and the State Department's official press release, for example, did not even mention the Georgia detention. Instead, it highlighted issues like Korean investment in the U.S. and defense cost sharing. There was also no official apology. So many in Korea criticized this as a breach of diplomatic etiquette toward an ally.
I mean, not really surprised, to be honest with you. But let's talk about the root causes. The visa system was the big problem, and this is something that we also mentioned last week.
Yes, the flaws in the U.S. visa system are widely seen as a major cause, and some workers who actually held valid visas like B1 visa or even green card holders were still arrested and described harsh treatment. Like briefly mentioned last week, companies have long complained about the U.S. visa system, but little has changed, and the number of so-called legal visas is far too small compared to the demand. And unlike some countries, Korea does not benefit from a quota system. For instance, the U.S. B1 visa is notoriously difficult to obtain because of its strict legal requirements. And Minister Cho proposed creating a working group with the U.S. to reform visa rules, and Washington agreed in principle, but whether this leads to real change remains uncertain given America's hardline stance.
So, because I used to live in America, right? And amongst the immigrants, Korean American, well, I guess all immigrants, but first thing is getting the green card is the big thing. Like we used to go like, oh, 영주권, right? Like if you get the green card, it's such a big deal.
Yes.
But now the green card does basically little to protect you from anything, because even if you're a green card, if you're a green card holder, you can get arrested and be deported. Technically, you can be deported as a green card holder only if you do something really bad, right? And then now the next level is, of course, you have to have the citizenship. Now, citizenship, technically, you should be protected even more. But even those that have citizenship and you're not, you don't look like a Caucasian.
Caucasian.
They say you're not technically, protected about this, which is worrying. It's worrying.
That happened in colleges throughout the U.S.
No, it did. I mean, there was a girl who has a green card, right? I mean, she was arrested for what? For what? But we've heard about the negotiations and the political aspect. But what about the actual conditions that the Korean workers face while being detained?
The reports are very disturbing. Many detainees described extremely poor conditions and even degrading treatment. And they were crowded into facilities with unsanitary mattresses, contaminated water, and no way to track time. And some immigration officers allegedly made mocking remarks, which only added to their distress. So overall, Korean engineers and technicians went through severe hardship and unimaginable treatment during that week in detention. The South Korean government has said it will carry out a full investigation, and once specific cases of mistreatment are confirmed, it plans to raise a strong protest through diplomatic channels with the U.S. Plus, reports are raising alarms over the way U.S. immigration authorities have been handling South Korean workers in the first place. Arrests were made based on fabricated confessions and evidence pointing to serious irregularity in the process. So this is also something South Korean government is expected to strongly protest and raise objections.
So as you guys know, when the 316 Korean workers were detained and so forth, Trump went on to social media, called them illegal immigrants and all that stuff. And then after all this, they returned, and Trump went back and made some statements that were quite ironic once again.
Right. Right after the detentions, Trump posted on social media saying, "We welcome foreign investment." He argued that when foreign companies invest in the U.S., they should be able to bring in their experts to train American workers. So even though hundreds of Koreans had just been detained, Trump was at the same time sending a message of welcome to foreign companies and workers. And it's seen as a mixed signal, part reassurance to investors, but also a way of pressing for technology transfer to rebuild U.S. manufacturing. Now, beyond politics, the impact of the current incident on the economy and everyday life is also drawing attention. The fallout has been actually significant, and construction projects were suspended, of course, and some American workers hired locally lost their jobs. And experts say that without Korean specialists, it could take anywhere from 6 months to 5 years to train replacements on site, and that's raising concerns about weakened investment. And meanwhile, anti-immigration policies and heavy crackdowns are also scaring off tourists. U.S. tourism is expected to lose billions of dollars this year, and hotel occupancy in key destinations like New York and Las Vegas is already falling. So the Georgia incident has become more than a Korea-U.S. issue. It highlights structural problems that could hurt the U.S. economy more broadly.
You know, what's interesting is my parents are going to New York this weekend.
For wedding.
For my brother's wedding, which I can't go. You know how much a round-trip ticket to New York is?
How much was it?
At this time. And autumn is like peak season,
yes.
right? They paid in U.S. dollars. It was It was 90만 원. So $750. Korean Air round trip. You know why it's so cheap?
Because nobody wants
No
to
one's going.
go.
No one's going.
Right.
That's what's happening right now. People are not wanting to go because even tourists are getting arrested, being accused of illegal immigrants, despite the fact that they have travel visas and things like that. So I even told my mom's a U.S. citizen, so but she doesn't look U.S. citizen. So she'll have her passport with her. My dad, I told him, you have to have your itinerary. Hold your, carry around your itinerary.
All the
right?
time. All the time.
Yes. And maybe wear a mega hat or something. I heard there was even a very human story involved, Korean food on the flight back home for these workers.
Yes, on the chartered Korean Air flight carrying the released detainees, bibimbap became something like a savior meal, and reports say Korean Air prepared 120% more bibimbap for them, and over 90% of passengers chose it, and one person said, "Oh, now I feel alive after eating 2 bowls." And after 7 days of awful food in detention, that simple Korean dish symbolized both comfort and recovery. And personally, I love bibimbap that Korean Air provides too. And the Georgia detentions were not just about an immigration raid. They exposed deeper issues like trust between allies, flaws in the visa system, and human rights concerns as well.
They just don't give enough gochujang. So I always ask for another one.
You can always ask for another one.
I always put 2 every time I order it, but it's again...
Salty food is not good for you.
I know, but it's bland though. It's bland though.
Make you...
Two tubes is too much. 1 and a half is the best.
1.5.
1.5. I don't
Okay.
use 2. 2 is too salty.
Oh, so maybe they can make a bigger gochujang.
Maybe they
bigger
should.
tube of gochujang.
But there's too many people like you who like to eat bland stuff. Ruining it for the people who like to eat salty stuff, right? We'll continue to talk about other major issues. But first, this is Mamamoo with Egotistic 너나 해.
그렇다고 네가 태양은 아니네 너의 멋대로 중심이 돼 제 멋대로 굴면 안 돼 어떻게 한순간의 떨림이 소리 없이 너의 두 눈을 가리니 너의 뜻대로 흘러가네 내게 상처를 주면 안돼네 생각만 하지 그래 뭐 그게 참다 너란 듯이 어리석게 너에게만 맞춰왔던 게 날 괴롭히네 마지막까지 부를게 할 말이 없어 go away 설명이 더 필요해 화를 놔도 내 입만 아프다니까 너 멋대로만 해봐라 난 언제나 너너너너해 난 언제나 나나나나 해 이야야 이야야 네 멋대로 중심이 돼 너만 생각해 그렇다면 너너너나 해 이야야 이야야 네 멋대로 굴면 안돼 멋대로만 해 밤을 새워 버렸어 차갑게 식은 어리다 너의 태도가 이해 안돼 이젠 조금씩 지쳐갔네 이제 나도 내 앞을 챙겼지 너 없다고 무너질 내가 아니네 너의 품에서 벗어날래 내 멋대로 살아갈래 내가 맞춰야 돼 매번 dak성해 매 이런 식으로 매일 반복돼 나의 호의에도 너의 권리만 있다면 뭔가 잘못된 거지 뭘 그렇게 놀래 당연한 얘기인데 화를 내도 내 입만 아프다니까 네 멋대로만 해 난 언제나 너너너너 해 난 언제나 나나나나 해 이야야 이야야 네 멋대로 중심이 돼 너만 생각해 그렇다면 너너너나 해 이야야 이야야 네 멋대로 굴면 안돼 멋대로만 해 너너나 해 I don't really, I don't stay I don't really, I don't stay I'm ready to go on my way 할 말이 없어 go away 설명이 더 필요해 화를 놔도 내 입만 아프다니까 나도 멋대로 할래 미쳐 말로 난 언제나 너너너너 해 난 언제나 나나나나 해 이야야 이야야 네 멋대로 중심이 돼 너만 생각해 그렇다면 너너너나 해 이야야 이야야 네 멋대로 굴면 안돼 재미없어 그대로 할래.
Hey! Stop looking at the clock. We still got more work at the Culture Inc.
That was Mamamoo with Egotistic Nona He. I'm gonna have to call the police or something. I think we have a peeping Tom. Made it up over in London says.
How did you know that he left his
SJ left his phone in the toilet.
in the toilet?
I left it on top of the urine. Like there's
You don't have to give us too much details.
I left it there. How'd you know, man? How'd you know? Oh, it was probably because I went for the bathroom break and then I came back and then, okay, whatever. I know you got a maid. You better not have no camera there. Second topic today, President Lee Jae-myung recently marking his first 100 days in office with a major press conference in Korea. There is always the significance of 100 days and things like that.
100일.
And then, of course, even in for presidents, you have like the 100-day opinion polls and what are the things that he's done. And then it always comes with a big press conference, right? Explain to us why this event carries such weight, though.
Well, in South Korean politics, the 100-day mark is a symbolic milestone. It's when the president outlines early achievements and sets the tone for the future. And what's remarkable here is that President Lee Jae-myung has already held 2 full-scale press conferences in just 100 days, one on his 30th day in office and another one on 100th day, a first in Korean presidential history. And his style was striking, too. Instead of taking pre-arranged questions from selected outlets, he used a random business card draw system, and that meant any journalist could be called on with no limits on topics. And this time as well, he went well beyond the scheduled 90 minutes, taking spontaneous questions for nearly 2 hours. And the message was clear. He's confident, he enjoys engaging directly, and he doesn't shy away from sensitive issues.
You know, it's funny that he did the random business card draw system because the saying was apparently what went on during the former Yoon administration when there was a press conference. They selected
media outlets that are favorable to Yoon administration.
But also they took the question first. They had to submit the question first, get approval from the presidential office first, and then he prepared the answers and then went with the so everything was well scripted. Now he's basically going, well, I'm not going to do that because that's not what a leader should do. So what were some of the key issues raised during the marathon Q&A?
There were several. First, foreign policy and security. The timing coincided with the Georgia incident in the United States, and the president promised a full-scale investigation and said that if human rights violations were confirmed, Seoul would raise the issue strongly through diplomatic channels with Washington. And he also touched on tariff negotiations and investment talks with the U.S., stressing that while Korea must protect its national interest, it will maintain constructive cooperation with its key allies. And on North Korea, President Lee struck a notably pragmatic tone. He said, if Pyongyang doesn't smile and we keep frowning back, it's our loss. His point was that reducing tensions along the demilitarized zone benefits South Korea, not for North Korea's sake, but for Korea's own security, economy, and livelihoods. He stressed that such steps are practical, not ideological. And he also repeated his intention to act as a pacemaker between Washington and Pyongyang, saying North Korea places greater value on U.S. ties than on inter-Korean relations. And he emphasized that renewed U.S.-North Korea dialogue would stabilize the peninsula, and Seoul should support that process without insisting on dominating it. And as for Japan, President Lee reaffirmed a two-track strategy separating historical disputes from areas of cooperation, and he pledged not to overlook sensitive issues like wartime history or territorial disputes, but also underlined the need for future-oriented cooperation in economic and social exchanges. And he even mentioned that a new framework for bilateral economic economic partnership is necessary once Japan's new leadership takes office.
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos going on in Tokyo right now. But what about domestic issues?
Well, domestically, the focus was on the economy and livelihoods, of course. President Lee outlined the steps to control inflation, ease the burden of housing costs, and create more job opportunities for young people. And he also mentioned reforms in the financial sector and labor markets to strengthen fairness and resilience. And his answers gave the impression of a leader with firm conviction, someone offering not vague rhetoric, but clear analysis and concrete policy directions. And you know, his speech is very straightforward in general. And political reform also came up, and President Lee drew a sharp line regarding the recent parliamentary compromise on the 3 special prosecutors bill covering the insurrection case, allegations involving former First Lady Kim Gon-hee and the death of Marine Corporal Che. And he criticized the agreement not to extend the investigation in exchange for fast-tracking a government reorganization bill. He asked, how can uncovering the truth of a mutiny and holding those responsible be traded for restructuring the government? And Lee made it clear he would not compromise on special investigation into the insurrection, calling it a core democratic value.
It's there's a lot happening right now. There's a lot happening with a lot of trials that are going to take place. There's a lot of investigation going on, and let's just say the opposition party, they're in a bit of a pickle right now. But how would you describe the overall impression he left, though? Again, there's a significance with the first 100 days.
Right. Many public view that President Lee projected himself as a leader who is confident, articulate, and unafraid of tough questions. And again, his answers were not vague, but rather direct, with a sense of philosophical grounding. And he gave the image of a president who is ready to communicate with the public and does not avoid questions that are uncomfortable. And by holding 2 open press conferences in such a short time, Lee has made communication itself a political statement, and whether this bold and confident approach will translate into tangible progress on Korea's economic and diplomatic challenges, that's what we need to keep a close eye on.
Like, say what you will with President Lee, but like, he's a smart guy.
Right.
Like, he's smart. And if you've seen a lot of his debates, a lot of, him talking to even the public on some of the issues, like, he says things and then they can't talk back because they're like, he's right. I mean, like, he's a very good debater.
And also, it's really easy to understand his statements are.
It is. And so we'll see what happens. So far, at least there is no, no big controversies happening right now. Everything's smooth sailing. The stocks are doing well for the time being, but we'll have to see how it goes.
It's been only 100 days.
We call it honeymoon phase.
Right.
Most presidents, they go through the honeymoon phases. Afterwards, what happens is the big thing. We're going to continue to talk about some of the major issues of the week, but first, this is Twice with Cheer Up.
말리는 벨벨벨 이젠 나를 배려해줘 배터리 낭비하기는 싫어 자꾸만 봐 전화가 펑 터질 것만 같아 몰라 숨도 못 쉰대 나 때문에 힘들어 심장이 떨어지네 왜 그렇게 말해나 너무 예쁘대 자랑하는 건 아니고 약간을 못 받아서 미안해 친구를 만나느라 샤샤샤 만나긴 좀 그렇고 미안해 좀 이따 연락할까 이래 저러지마 할만하지 않아 부르게 해줄게 baby 아직은 좀 일러 내 맘 듣긴 일러 하지만 더 보여줄래 Try to baby 좀 더 힘을 내 여다가 쉽게 마음을 주면 안 돼 그래야 네가 날 더 좋아하게 될걸 태연하게 연기할래 아무렇지 않게 내가 널 좋아하는 막 모르게 Just get together and then baby turn up I need you 안절부절 목소리가 여기까지 들려 땀에 젖은 전화기가 여기서도 보여 바로바로 대답하는 것도 매력 없어 메시지만 읽고 확인 안 하는 건 기본 너무 심이 나보 이러다가 지칠까봐 걱정되긴 하고 안 그럼 내가 더 빠질 것만 같아 답장을 못 해줬어 미안해 친구를 만나느라 샤샤샤 만나긴 좀 그렇고 미안해 좀 이따 연락할게
That was Twice with Cheer Up. Shut up, baby. Shut up, baby.
Not shut up.
When
Are
I
you
first
supposed to say it
when I
on
first
air?
yes, when I first heard this song, I thought they said shut up and I was like, "What? Shut up,
Cheer
baby. Cheer up. Chat up. Chat up, baby. Chat up, baby." It almost sounds like shut
Who's
up.
your favorite member of Twice?
We had this
so
discussion.
many, so he can
Too many.
answer.
There was too many.
Yeah.
There was too many.
He was like, "Oh, I like her. Oh, I like her too.
like-
and this member too."
Sana's pretty, and then Chiho's pretty.
Back in the days, I used to like Taya, but now my favorite member is Tana.
Tana
Oh,
now.
but I think Momo is cute too.
Why you?
But Gia's gorgeous too.
What can I say? What can I say? I can't lie. I'm a T.
Your wife is listening.
Yeah, but she won't understand though.
She doesn't care, maybe.
She can read though.
Yeah, she can definitely
I was
read.
chatting with a friend in English. She goes, "Why are you saying that?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah, of course you can understand.
She can't understand when we talk, but she can read and understand.
So be careful,
I
Astray.
gotta stop the chat. Let's talk about the Korean government's measure to stabilize living costs for Chuseok. This is another big thing where a lot of spending going on, which again, also we're now less than a month away.
Chuseok is coming.
Yes.
Yay, are you excited?
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
So Chuseok falls this year during a very long holiday period from
Yeah.
October 3rd, National Foundation Day, through October 9th, Hangul Day, Hangul날. And many people are planning family visits and travel, and some hoped for an extra day off on October 10th to create a 10-day holiday stretch, and that's going to be a golden holiday if that really happens. And with this long break, the government is acting to ease the pressures on household budgets, transportation, and small businesses, all of which feel the spike in demand during the holiday. And they've announced a comprehensive living cost stabilization package. And there are 5 key areas. First, of course, price stabilization. The government is releasing significant quantities of staple foods and seasonal items like rice, vegetables, and gift products, and is providing around 100 billion won in support to ensure prices don't skyrocket. And they're also monitoring prices closely and adjusting supply if needed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Years ago, during Chuseok, the prices just skyrocket. Like they take advantage of it. You know, they're like everyday fruits that you normally buy for like regular price. They'll put like a little bit of wrapping into it, and all of a sudden it's like
prices of apples skyrocketed?
Yes. And then once they really started cracking down on those like the price engaging stuff, like now it's like slightly more expensive. Because they put like the prettier ones and like they do some more packaging,
Right.
But it's not like 2-3 times more expensive than it usually is.
Yes.
But they also announced measures regarding transportation, right?
Yeah, to make travel easier and safer, the government will waive highway tolls for certain days, increase the number of public transport services, and closely monitor congestion at major bus and train terminals. And this is meant to reduce stress for people traveling home. And there are also measures for small businesses, which is the third pillar. The government is providing temporary rent assistance, tax deferrals, and expanded access to seasonal loans. And the goal is to reduce financial pressure and help merchants maintain operations during peak holiday demand. On top of that, vulnerable groups are also included in the support measures. Low-income households and other vulnerable groups will receive special holiday allowances. And social welfare facilities are getting extra support, and emergency aid is available for families facing urgent needs as well.
Again, it's in any family. There's during the Chuseok holiday, the Lunar New Year holiday, that there's a lot extra spending that goes
Right.
on. It's just, it's inevitable. But with the highway tolls, it always happened. You'd always
Yeah.
get free toll
Yes.
just to travel more, stay within the country. Except for, do you remember when they did not waive the toll fee?
Oh, I think I'm
During COVID,
yes,
so that people don't
that's
travel
right.
around
That's
too much.
right.
That was the only time that they didn't waive the toll fees.
yes.
But I take advantage of that. That adds up. That toll fee adds up, really.
Right.
Holidays, again, time for families to gather, share great food, laughter. Sometimes fighting goes on. Goes on all
like
the
in
time.
Korean dramas.
Yeah, over what too? Like card games.
Hey,
Or like, when you do yunori, is that half over or is that half, like They'll fight over stupid
That's
stuff
right.
like this.
This is why we should never meet
That's
each
right.
other.
That's right. But there's also periods when accidents happen,
Right.
Big and small. What about safety measures?
Police and fire services will have extra personnel on duty, and public facilities will undergo safety inspections, and patrols are being strengthened to prevent crime, and authorities are taking steps to reduce accidents and ensure people can enjoy the holiday safely. And so overall, the government is expecting such measures will bring some positive impacts throughout the nation. On the immediate level, releasing extra supplies and providing discounts can reduce price spikes. And on the behavioral side, if people feel prices are under control and travel is easier, it encourages spending and tourism, benefiting the broader economy. So the goal is for everyone, families, merchants, and vulnerable groups to have a safe, happy, and worry-free holiday.
That's right. And in the meantime, some local governments are rolling out their own pre-Chuseok support measures to help households. Tell us about this.
Yes, for example, Yeonggwang-gun County in Jeollanam-do province is providing 500,000 won per resident as an economic recovery support payment. And the county did the same during the Lunar New Year holiday earlier this year. And other regions like Buan and Gochang in Jeollabuk-do and Hwasun-gun County in Jeollanam-do province are also offering living cost support payments ranging from 100,000 to 300,000 won per person. And these local initiatives are intended to complement the government's second round of living cost recovery consumer coupons, maximizing the impact on domestic spending ahead of the holiday.
Oh, man. Again, big money stuff here. So households with higher property or financial incomes are automatically excluded, which, I mean, rightfully so. Rightfully
Right.
so.
That's about you're talking about the livelihood recovery
Yeah.
consumer coupon, the second round one,
Yeah.
which will start on September 22nd. For instance, households where the total property tax base exceeds 1.2 billion won or total financial income exceeds 20 million won will be excluded entirely. And after that, eligibility is determined based on the household's June 2025 health insurance contributions. And the thresholds vary by household size. For a single person household, the cutoff is about 220,000 won, and for a four-person household, around 510,000 won.
So Rich Taeyong is out of this.
I will definitely receive the second round of livelihood coupon. Are you in that group?
I don't know, actually.
You don't know? We'll have to, you can just check
No, but
via like community centers or other government running websites.
I'll tell you this, though, that the first round did help a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of the smaller business, because you can only spend it in small businesses. They were saying that they saw a spike in spending and things like that. And so.
But last time you received 550,000 won, right? But this time it's going to be 100,000 if you're not in that upper 10%.
So what happened was they
bracket.
put me out. They put me out of it, and then I had to get it separately. So I got 150,000.
Oh, yes.
And I
150.
had no idea you could spend 150,000 won that quickly, so easily.
It's just, you can spend it.
No,
like,
it was crazy.
One
Like,
night.
no, you can't. But I didn't do it. I was spending it little by little.
Little by little at convenience stores.
Convenience stores
That's
accepted
the
it. I
best
didn't know
place
that.
to spend money.
Man, I had so much ice cream. That's all it went. Anyways, Haeyoung, thank you so much for your report today. Have a fantastic rest of your night. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
And sending her out of the studio, we'll take a listen to a song from End Flying with Blue Moon.